We're going to be reading the story Circumference and All the King's Tens. And this is going to help us with base 10 and a little bit of showing numbers, but also being able to determine why place values get greater every single time and how much. Here we go. So Circumference and All the King's Tens, a math adventure. The last time we saw the king, he seemed a bit gloomy, said Lady Di of Ameter to her husband Circumference one evening. His birthday is soon. Let's give him a surprise party here at our castle to cheer him up. We can invite people from the entire countryside. That's a fine idea, answered Circumference. We'll plan a huge celebration for him. Lady Di sent out invitations. Servants rushed about the castle, cleaning and cooking. Carpenters built long wooden tables, while seamstresses sewed tents. Guests began arriving in groups. Each day, more kept coming. Lady Di showed the guests where to stay. Rooms filled up quickly. The castle is already exploding with guests, and an even bigger group is arriving this afternoon, she told Circumference one morning. King Arthur's party is tonight, and I'm not ready. What a royal mess! Circumference nodded. I'll gather everyone in the meadow to get them out of your way. Soon, a large crowd stood in the grassy field outside the castle walls. The king will arrive in a few hours, began Circumference. Let's practice a royal march of greeting. Would everyone step smartly toward the center of the meadow? Pandemonium broke out. Knees marching high knocked into arms swinging wide. The knights of the round table crashed into each other, falling into metallic heaps. Lady Di appeared in the middle of this confusion. I need to know how many guests will be here for lunch, and then how many for dinner. She called her husband over the clatter. Circumference waved his arms. Attention, he bellowed. We need to know how many of you are here. But everyone kept milling around. Counting the crowd seemed like an impossible job. Sir Cal stepped forward with a suggestion. Forming small circles of people might work, he said. Each group could count its members and call out how many. Lady Di could then add up the numbers. Let's try it, said Circumference, shepherding guests into groups. 61, 111, 58, 17, 46, cried out voices in the crowd. No good, said Lady Di, stopping them. My head's spinning just trying to keep track of all those numbers. We can march in one straight line, said Sir Lionel, segment counting up from as we pass. So the group formed a queue. They began moving forward past Lady Di. The line was so long it disappeared over the hill. Too slow, noted Lady Di. The king's birthday will have come and gone long before I finish figuring this out, and I'm getting rather hot standing here, complained Sir Tangent inside his armor. Others agreed. Let's set up some tents, said Circumference. We can get into the shade while we think of another way to count everyone. Attention, everyone! Please gather into small groups, as Sir Cal suggested. Spread those groups out into lines, as Sir Lionel's segment described. Each line should have 10 people, like the 10 fingers on Sir Tangent's hands. The crowd grouped themselves as Circumference directed. Lady Di started to count, but there were still so many rows. If we put 10 rows together, they would equal what class? Did you say 100? That's right. They would equal 100, she said. That would make this counting go even more quickly. The hot but patient guests moved into the larger formations. I'm counting 9 groups of 100. Class, if there's 9 groups of 100, how many groups is there? 900? That's right. Great job, said Lady Di. There are also 8 rows of 10 and 1 row with only 7. So 8 rows of 10 would be 80. Great job. And then if there's 7 more, 80 and 7 composed together would be, that's right, 87. That's 900 plus 80 plus 7. Class, if I said 90 plus 80 plus 7, what would that form be called? Expanded form, that's right. Great job. So 900 plus 80 plus 7, I want you to build that with your base 10 blocks. Show your teacher. Now at least I know how many lunches we need. 987. Then 25 more people arrived from the small town of Lower Numberton. Welcome, said Lady Di, smiling. Could you get together in rows of 10? And could 3 of you join that line of 7 to make a row of, what was that? 10? You're right. Great job. 2 new groups of 10 joined the other 8 rows of 10 and made a new group of 100. Why is it that 2 groups of 10 and 8 groups of 10 make 100, class? Let's discuss. Great job, because 2 rows of 10 and 8 rows of 10, if you compose those 2 groups of 10 together, that's going to make 100. Excellent job. 1 more row of 10 remained, with a lone farmer and his wife standing shyly just beside it. Oh my! Now we're up to 1,012 guests, number Lady Di. Make sure you try and write this in expanded form and expanded notation. Several more tents of different sizes were set up to provide shade for everyone. To the left of the tiny tent that fit 9 people or fewer, the castle workers pitched a bigger tent. It could hold up 9 rows of 10, also known as 90. That's right, great job. Next to that tent, there was an even bigger one for as many as 9 groups of 100. 9 groups of 100 is, that's right, 900. Great job. An enormous tent was next for crowds of up to 9,000. How many thousands would you need to create to make 9,000? That's right, you need 9,000. So we'll serve lunch in the largest tent, declared Lady Di. So we went from 90 to 900 to 9,000. How much was it getting bigger every single time, class? Turn and talk. That's right, it's getting greater by 10 every time, 10 times bigger by the place value. As everyone was finishing the last luncheon bites, a cloud of dust appeared in the distance. More guests were coming. It was a huge group from the King's City, Camelot. Greetings, Sir Cumference, called the leader of the caravan. We're here for the party. The king and his nobles should arrive shortly. Well then, said Sir Cumference, rubbing his hands together briskly. Let's find a place for all of you. It took a while, but the Camelot guests were finally organized. They had 8 groups of 1,000, 9 groups of 100, 8 groups of 10, and 7 singles. I'm going to say that again slowly, and I want you to see if you can figure out what that number is. 8 groups of 1,000, 9 groups of 100, 8 groups of 10, and 7 singles. How much do you think that number is? Turn and talk. Lady Di sent a messenger back to the castle to add 8,987 to the 1,012 guests who were already there for an evening feast. If you said 8,987, great job. You were correct. We'll need to put up another huge tent for dinner, said Cumference. Yes, agreed Lady Di, and we could really surprise the king if everyone stayed hidden until his arrival. So they assigned each guest to a tent. The meadow became a nightly number neighborhood. There were 9 folks in the first tent. There were 90 in the second tent next door. There were 900 in the third tent and 9,000 in the fourth tent. The fifth tent was empty except for long wooden tables and benches. So what was happening every single tent? Is getting greater by how much? Make sure you turn and talk and discuss. Lady Di passed out silk scarves to each person, saying, "The color of your scarf matches your tent flag." Then the entire group gathered to practice their surprise greeting for the king. They had rehearsed only once when a trumpet blared in the distance. Bap! Ba-ba-ba! "The king is arriving," yelled Cumference. "Hurry into your tents and wait for my signal." When the king arrived, he had a sour look on his face. "It's my birthday," he muttered grumpily, "and I've been stuck on the back of a horse for hours. What are all these tents for? I'm in no mood for a jousting tournament." Cumference and Lady Di welcomed the king. "Your Majesty," said Lady Di, showing him to a seat of honor. "A birthday greeting for you," said Cumference, bowing and clapping his hands. This was the signal that the hidden guests were waiting for. They steamed out of their tents, singing and dancing. The king was surprised. His sour look began to turn into a smile. At the end of their performance, everyone lifted and lowered their scarves one row after another, starting with the largest group of 9,000, then, that's right, 900, and then, that's right, 90. Keep going. And finally, the 9. It looked as if a shimmering ocean wave had crashed at the feet of the king. He stood and applauded. "Well done! Thank you, my friends." Lady Di clapped her hands. "And now, let's eat." After a tasty dinner, the cooks brought out an enormous birthday cake and other delicious sweets. The guests cheered as the king blew out the candles. Then everyone heard the thunder of the hoofbeats. "Uh-oh," said Cumference. "Another group approaches. Their flag shows them to be from one city of adding more." "How many more tents will we need?" he wondered out loud. "And how many more desserts will that be?" asked Lady Di. "I hope we have enough cake." The end. Hopefully today you've been learning about how the place values get greater by 10, but also you recall all the ways to make sure that you know how to write a number. Expanded form, expanded notation, base 10, written form, and the most easiest standard form. Keep working hard, guys. See you next time.